Hey, Bastish B here for 64K and welcome to vlog number 47, January 2025.
Welcome to 64K, hosted by Bastish B.
And welcome back. So this is my roundup video for everything that happened in 2024 and also a little look forward to upcoming new projects. So first we're going to start off with a bunch of stats. I'll keep this very brief and quick, so not to waste your time, but it's just interesting. I'll be going over a bunch over here. So overall, on 64K, there were 102 videos released in 2024. That's a lot for one person to do. And if you look at 2023, there was 81. So now there was 102. It's a significant jump, about 20 or so, just over. So that's pretty cool. And bear in mind, that's not even counting videos I've completed now that are coming out next year. There's a whole bunch. So it's even more than 102. But, if you have Patreon or club members, you can watch those anyway right now. So it's a significant jump, and I think the quality has jumped as well. So that's all a good thing. The biggest month overall on 64K for just sheer amount of videos released was October, and I put out 17 videos, which is insane. That was all to do with Horror Month. That was something I introduced last year, and I really enjoyed that. Out of the whole year, that was the most fun I've had making videos. I think because it was a challenge to make things in a different style, and embrace the horror elements and just everything that comes with it. It was just a ton of fun to make. I kind of decided to do that on the spur of a moment also, which is even more crazy. Like probably a week before October, I decided to do this. So I just basically went into full crazy production mode and made all that happen. And I think it turned out very well. I know a lot of you guys like that. And this year, 2025, Horror Month will be back in October, and I look forward to do a whole bunch more in that genre. Also, on a side note, bear in mind, 2 of that 102 videos were 6 hours long each. So there are 2 videos that were basically over 6 hours. Never mind, a lot of them were like over 1 hour each. So it's just sheer content-wise, I think 2024 was by far the biggest year this channel has ever had, just in terms of the amount of content that was released. So now let's go on to just some quick little stats to finish it off. And in 2024, the channel gained just over 2,300 subscribers, which is awesome. I think there's still 40% of you guys that watch on a regular basis are not subscribed. 40%. Please subscribe. I don't like to beg. I never beg. I only mention it at the end of a video, not to annoy people. But if you can, please go for it. If you don't, no problem. You can continue watching. It's irrelevant, but it really helps out. The channel received just over 20,000 likes, and for views, there were just over 400,000 views of the videos on a whole. I don't know whether any of that's good or not. I don't track these things. So yeah, whatever. It seems like it's pretty good for a channel of this size anyway. And bear in mind, I've also been advertising these videos less. I used to push them really hard in certain circles. I've tried to lean back from that. So the fact that it's still got all those kinds of views is a good thing. I don't share all the videos I make in Facebook groups and stuff like that anymore. I only share the ones that are a little bit bigger, a little bit more elaborate. I don't want to annoy people by constantly pushing content. It's a really fine line you got to tread if you're a creator. I'm sure anybody that has a YouTube channel knows this. If you continuously push things too much, you can alienate people. And even though you got no other resource, you have to do that if you want people to watch. If you're a new creator, if you think making a YouTube video and putting it up is going to get you views. It's not. And nobody's going to watch. That's the reality of it. You have to kind of self-market your stuff, and I don't like that aspect, but it's part of what you have to do. Anyway, so I've tried to like scale it back a bit, and I'm hoping to do that more and more if the channel gets a little bit bigger and bigger. Hopefully I don't have to do that so much. That would be awesome. And next is new series that I recently introduced, and I'll just talk a little bit about one that's coming up. There's a bunch I've got ideas for, but I'm not going to talk about them yet until I've finalized them. So for new series, I introduced a whole bunch. I'll just talk about 3 very briefly. I got C64 Weekly, Amiga New Wave, and Sega 100%. So all 3 of these I had very low expectations for. I'm not really sure why, but you know, when you make videos, you kind of get a vibe of whether people are gonna be drawn to it, or whether they're just gonna like it, or whether they're just not gonna watch it. And most of the time, my instincts are right. So these I thought were gonna be really low level views, even though I put a lot of effort into it, and I really enjoy making these. But it turns out that all 3 of these new series have done very well so far. C64 Weekly is doing extremely well. It gets over 1,000 views every week, and that's very good considering this is one of the videos I don't advertise in multiple groups. I just do on my regular social media, my main accounts, and that's it. So the fact that it gets those views is very good, and it's a fun series to make. And for everybody that's complaining that it's very short, it's done like that on purpose, so I'm not wasting your time. I've got all the links for the games and everything in the description. It's to give you a quick glimpse, and then you can go and download those and play them yourself, whatever you want. It's getting you to the product quicker. That's the whole point of it. I've had 1 or 2 people suggest that I turn C64 Weekly into a 15 to 20 minute show. That's insane. There's not even enough content to do that, and that's all I'll be doing. I'll just be making 1 video a week, and there wouldn't be time for anything else. If you realize, you obviously don't realize how much work it takes to make a 20-minute video. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to carry on. And Amiga New Wave with Judge Drock, we're enjoying making that. There's a new episode coming out a few days from now. It's an exclusive look at a new Amiga game with a developer interview. Been really enjoying getting developer interviews for videos, and hope to continue it in 2025 here. It's very random. It's usually unexpected when I get to interview somebody for a video. It happened a lot in 2024, and I'm very happy about that. I hope the trend continues. It's very hit and miss though. You never know what's going to happen. So anyway, I hope that trend will continue. Sega 100% is probably the single series that I've enjoyed the most making. I put a lot of effort into those ones, and it's done quite well. Besides the Commodore 64, I'm a massive Sega fan. I'm almost as much of a Sega fan as I am a C64 fan. So hopefully you can see the passion in those videos. And as far as new series coming up, I'm not going to talk about too many of them. I'm just going to mention one. It's going to be called Golden Years. It's going to be a throwback to some of the videos I made at the beginning of this channel when I made documentaries about Commodore 64 companies. I focus a lot on the heavy hitters, Epyx and System 3 and all those. This is the complete opposite of that. So Golden Years is going to be focusing on the first about 3 years of the C64, 82 to about 84. There were a lot of companies that came out during this period. They came and went in a flash. They released 5 to 10 games, and they disappeared. They wiped themselves out essentially, but their contributions were still significant in terms of what they released. And as far as this channel goes, I've covered the C64 early years very minimally. I've mainly covered games from 85 onwards, because I got my C64 in 1984, so those are just what I played. Everything before that I played at my friend's house in 1983, and these were all these early games that I'm going to do videos on, the golden years. So it'll be a little bit of a documentary and covering all their games. It's going to be shorter, not as elaborate as those original videos. That's the whole point. A little bit more focused, but it's going to be a wealth of information. And I've already got a company planned for the first episode. I've just started working on it. So hopefully it'll come out either in January or February, the first episode. And I hope you'll look forward to that. As far as the comments section, I am not going to be following up anymore on comments that are obscure with no context, trying to figure out what you're trying to say. If you want to leave a comment like, I like that part of it, or it reminds me of that game, you put comments like that in a 6-hour video, or any video really, I don't know what you are saying or what you're referencing. I think that should be fairly obvious. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm not going to try to follow up and figure out what you're saying. It's just a waste of my time. I'm sorry. If you don't want to put a little bit of context, then that's not my fault. I cannot help you. So I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to answer those questions or try and figure out what you're talking about. Also, bear in mind, when you leave comments, you are leaving comments for a real person in real life that has to read this. This goes for any YouTube channel. I know because you're behind the keyboard and you're typing something that you don't feel like you sending it to anybody and you can say whatever the hell you want. Bear in mind, a real person is going to read this. So maybe just put a little bit of thought into what you're going to say before you say it or write it. That would really help out and make my day a lot better when I get home from work and have to read comments. And lastly, just for the rant, video lengths are completely based on the time I have to make them. Please do refrain from putting comments like this video should be longer or this video should be longer, or whatever. I can only make what I can make with what the time I have. It's as simple as that. Like I've said before, this is not my real job. It's simply a hobby. If I had infinite time, I would make it as elaborate as I can. It's as simple as that. Okay, now with the rant over, I'm on to just a quick plug for Patreon and club members. If you want to join the channel, it's like a couple dollars a month, very small amount, and you get access just to videos that haven't been released on the channel and chat, and you can ask me any questions you want. There's currently a whole bunch that are in stock right now, so if you join up, you can check them out. Some of them aren't coming out for a few months, which is pretty cool. And also, just a reminder to the club members, the YouTube club members, please go to the community tab on the main page, and that's where you'll see your videos. They'll be highlighted as members only, and you get to watch them long before anybody else. Patreon, obviously, anything posted there is available. So that's how that works. And lastly on my list here is the future of the channel. Obviously, I want to continue supporting the C64 new wave scene for as long as that lasts, getting as much developer interviews and showcasing as many games as possible. That's a real passion. I think this scene hasn't really been covered in video form on YouTube at all. It's so minimal, it's almost non-existent. I think it's a shame. Anyway, I want to help promote those kinds of games. Also, I've had developers message me before saying, why wasn't their game shown in so-and-so video? I can only absorb a certain amount of information, you know what I mean? Like there's a limit as to what I can cover and what I can show. I don't know every single C64 game that is released every 5 seconds. So if you've got a game and you think it's good, you can message me on any social media. That's up to you, and I can check it out. If I don't do a full review on it, I only do full reviews on games that are considered top quality. So if you see a rapid fire review for a C64 game, you know it's probably going to be quite good. And obviously I'm not going to bother with smaller games. That's what C64 Weekly was made for. It's one of the reasons. I can highlight your game very briefly in there with a download so people can check it out. as long as it's half decent. C64 Weekly is just about what's coming out. It doesn't necessarily has to be top quality. As long as it's a decent game, then yeah, I can definitely show it. So please just message me if you want me to check it out. And as far as other content on the channel, I'll continue to do videos on other consoles, Sega related stuff, etc., like I've been doing over the last few years. I like the 50-50 split between Commodore 64 content and just other console stuff that I really enjoy. I think it's a great mix, and I'm going to continue to do that because I like variety, basically. And my goal this year, again, is obviously to keep the quality high, try and improve it as much as possible. Hopefully do some more documentaries. By the way, the Mega Drive Genesis Director's Cut version of my documentary, which is now 12 hours long. That's the whole thing put together. Director's Cut comes out in a couple of weeks. Please watch it if you're into that kind of thing. It's basically the arcade video, but for the Mega Drive. It's 12 hours long. It's packed with content, like an insane amount of content. I can't even express how much is in there, and that's probably the way you should watch that. Also, on a quick note, thank you to everybody that helped contribute to the channel in 2024 in terms of interviews and coming on the channel and being co-hosts or whatever. You guys all know who you are. I cannot name you all. There's too many. I really appreciate it, and I think it helped make the channel better, and it helped make the videos better. And that's it. Thanks for joining me, Bastish B, for 64K. I hope you had a good time, and if you can please like and subscribe, that'll be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.